guys, it's me. This time here to talk about the Schubert song Gretchen am Spinnrade. This one is complicated and there's no time to dilly-dally, so let's get right to it. Before we talk about the specific situation in which this song takes place, we need a little bit of the backstory because, well, that's pretty good. The text for our song is taken from Faust, Part 1 by Goethe, and what I'm about to tell you is the absolute tiniest synopsis I could come up with, while highlighting the major points. Keep in mind though, this is coming from someone who as a kid was famous for writing book reports longer than the actual books themselves. So, let's see how we do. Our story begins with Faust. Faust is a man who thinks there is nothing left for him in life. He's learned all there is to learn and nothing can make him happy. Sounds charming. Cut to God and the angels hanging out in heaven, and who should enter the scene but the devil himself, known as Mephistopheles, or Mephisto for short. Not surprisingly, Mephisto and God get into a disagreement, as they often do, this time over humanity, and they end up making a wager. Mephisto says that he will be able to lead Faust astray from God, and God agrees to allow Mephisto to try. The wager is set, and Mephisto gets to work on Faust. Cut back to planet Earth, where Mephisto has revealed himself to Faust. So convinced that there is nothing in the world that could bring him true joy, Faust foolishly agrees to sell his soul to Mephisto, meaning he will serve the devil, body and soul, in the afterlife, if Mephisto can arrange even one instance of pure joy and true contentment for Faust to experience. Not long after this, Faust sees Gretchen. Predictably, he immediately falls in love with her, but when he tries to talk to her, she won't have it. She senses something off. Could be the devil who's standing right next to him, but who knows? Faust commands Mephisto to obtain her for him. They try twice to seduce her by using some gorgeous jewels. The first time, Gretchen shows them to her mother. Mom is woke to the evils of the world, however, and takes the jewels away and gives them to a priest. The second time, Gretchen is not going to make the same mistake again, and she brings this second set of jewels to her friend Martha. During a subsequent visit to Martha's house, Mephisto and Faust turn up, and one intimate garden walk later, Gretchen is entirely smitten with Faust. They kiss and then go their separate ways. Cut to Gretchen's room. This is the scene that our song's text is taken from. Gretchen is sitting alone at her spinning wheel. She expresses that she has lost herself. Her peace is gone and her heart is heavy. She is in a haze. She agonizes over the fact that she is obsessed with him. It's Faust alone who she looks for out of her window. She admires, nearly worships his physical attributes, and gets worked into a near frenzy when she thinks about his kiss. She feels guilty over her physical arousal and passion for him, but she wants it. Change scene. Faust and Gretchen plan to spend a night together, and Faust gives Gretchen a sleeping potion to sneak to her mother so that they can, without her mother waking up. He says it is a harmless potion, but in reality it ends up killing her mother, and she never wakes up. When Gretchen later turns out to be pregnant, her brother challenges Faust to a duel, but he loses and dies. Later, Gretchen asks forgiveness for her transgression, but an evil spirit taunts her, reminding her that she is pregnant because of her sin, and that her mother and brother are dead because of her. Some more in-between stuff happens, and ultimately we encounter Gretchen in prison for having killed her newborn son. She has lost her mind, not only from her imprisonment, but also from her guilt. She is set to be executed, but when Faust, with Mephisto grudgingly in tow, comes to rescue her, she won't go with him. She says she knows she will have no peace in life because of her sins, and she is ready to face her punishment. Mephisto encourages Faust to leave Gretchen, for she is condemned. But right after he says that, a voice from heaven calls down that she is saved. End Faust Part 1. If you have a desire to know what happens later, I recommend you read Faust Part 2. A few things to listen for. The song opens with this figure. We immediately hear a spinning wheel, and we are sucked into a drama that's almost perpetual in nature, as if it's always been happening. Let me me see what that reminds me of. Women throughout history being taken advantage of by men? Sounds about right. There is a general haze. She is confused. Also, this minor key gives us the feeling that something more is at stake than just her losing her virginity. Speaking of ominous, this little figure could be seen as the foot on the pedal as it drives the spinning wheel, but also the beating of her heart, just awakening to an awareness of love and arousal. And then we have this fate theme. When she begins to talk about Faust, she works herself into a frenzy that only stops when she thinks about his kiss. The wheel stops for a moment, only to begin again. I'm not gonna spoil the whole thing for you. Go take a listen for yourself to see how the song ends. One final note though, Schubert was 17 when he wrote this song, and it is so electrically charged, it's not too much of a stretch to think that Schubert might have been relating to Gretchen in his own sexual awakening. Also, to be only 17 when he said something so mature and settled, it's really remarkable. Go ahead and listen to my recording of this amazing song and let me know what you think. You can find me on Instagram @LeaderNerd and on YouTube as Mandy Madrid Sikic. See you later, nerds!